Okay, good morning everybody. It is Monday morning and hopefully we've had a Zoom meeting where I've talked a little bit about this, but let's go back through it. So today's objective really is solving polynomials, okay? So if the polynomial, so solving polynomials, what we need to know is this. When you're solving polynomials, there are many answers. There's more than one answer. You know, like solve for x. For example, if I had a 3x plus 9 equals 0, I could solve for x. Boom. One answer. One answer. One answer. But with solving polynomials, there are more than one answer. As an example, if I had x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals 0, well, this example came from this question. So this example, x squared minus 3x minus 10, actually came from this problem here. If I were to multiply and FOIL it out, x times x minus 5, 2 times x, 2 times negative 10, these two are the same trinomial, but one is in a written out form and the other is in what we call a factored form. So if we can get our polynomials to look like this, then you can see that there are really two x's. So here's what we're going to learn. X squared, two answers. Always. So how do we get our two answers? Well, we want to get our polynomials into this form. And when they're in this form, that's really easy to solve for. So there really are two. To get two answers, first of all, let's start right here. To get two answers, we need two equations. So to get two answers, we need two equations. Okay? So one equation is going to be simply an x plus 2 equals 0. And the other equation is just simply an x minus 5 equals 0. Okay? Then if I want to solve, well, to solve that's easy. I'm just going to go minus 2 minus 2. And I'll have x equals a negative 2. That is one answer. In fact, if you put the negative 2 into here, negative 2 plus 2 makes a 0. Okay? To solve this one, we're going to go plus 5, and x is equal to 5. Okay? Two answers. My two answers are negative 2, x equals negative 2, and x equals 5. Those are my two answers. If I put 5 minus 5 is also 0. So these are also called zeros. These are also called zeros because they make the problem be 0. Okay? Easy. Let's look at number 2. So number 2 is going to have two answers. Well, to get the two answers, we need two little mini equations, which we have. So we break it up. We have an x plus 5 equals 0, and we'll have a 2x minus 1 equals 0. Okay? So if I want to solve one or the other, let's solve with this one. It's really very simple. Solve for x minus 5, x equals negative 5. There's one answer. This one here, we're going to solve, go plus 1. We'll have a 2x equals 1. Divide by 2, and the other answer is 1/2. So my two answers are negative 5 and a positive 1/2. Two answers, and that's how I get two answers. Example 3, what I'm going to do before I even solve it is I'm going to rewrite it. Quantity squared means something times itself. So I'm going to rewrite it as a 2x minus 6 times another 2x minus 6. Okay, so again, I'm just going to solve two mini equations and get two answers. Now, in this case, I'll get two of the same answers. And we'll have a 2x minus 6 equals 0, plus 6, I'll get a 2x equals 6, divide by 2, and x is 3. Okay, there's one answer. Over here, we get the exact same answer again. So even though x equals 3 both times, we'll say technically that's 2 answers because 3 occurs twice. Okay, x to the fourth. Now, x to the fourth came from some x cubed, okay? Actually, it came from some, let's see, 6 times 2, some 12x cubed, but it doesn't really matter because it already has 3 mini equations. So this one's going to have 3 answers. Okay, this problem's going to have 3 answers. Well, where are they? Well, we have a 3x equals 0. We also have a 2x plus 5 equals 0. And we have a 2x minus 5 equals 0. Okay? And we've got to solve them. Okay, so we're going to, first one, divide by 3, x is equal to 0. Okay, there's one answer. Second equation, mini equation, go minus 5, 2x equals negative 5. Divide by 2, and it goes in negative 2.5 as an answer. Or negative 2.5. We'll go negative 2.5. That's easier for you, okay? Second answer. I need a third answer. I get it from here. Plus 5, 2x equals 5. Divide by 2, 2 goes into 5, 2.5 times, or 2.5. There's my 3 answers. Pretty easy, as long as it's in these little mini equation form, right? However, sometimes it doesn't have mini equations. So we're going to do a thing called common factoring. And we practiced this a little bit on Zoom this morning. So we'll go back through it. So what do the two terms have in common? Well, they have a multiple of 5. No, 5 divides into this, and 5 divides into this. So the common, what they have in common is a 5. Multiple of 5, multiple of 5. And they also both have at least an x in common. This has an x, that has an x squared, so they both have at least an x. So if I common factor out, it's like what times what makes 5x? So if I common factor out the 5 and the x, what's left is just an x. 5 goes into 10 2 times, but I took out the x. Now, if common factoring confuses you, again, they both have a multiple of 5 in common, and they both have at least one x in common. If I take out a 5x out of both terms, I'd have an x and a 2. Now, if you're still a little confused, you can go backwards and say, well, what's this times this and this times this? That would make the 5x squared, and that would make the 10x squared. But we're not done, because what we're really trying to do is solve it. So we had to common factor first. So we factored first. Common factored first. Okay. Then we have our mini equations. So once you have your mini equations, right, like I said, 5x equal to 0, and x plus 2 equals 0. Okay? And then I'm just going to solve. Divide by 5, divide by 5. 0 divided by 5 is 0. There's one answer. Okay? Minus 2, x equals negative 2. There's my second answer. Okay? All right, last problem, number 6. I need to put a 1 here. There's an invisible 1. It's really going to help me a lot. So put an invisible 1 right there. And then I look at these two and think, okay, what do they have in common? Well, they don't have a number in common. There's no multiple in common at all. But they both have at least an x in common. So if I take out the common x, if I took an x out of the first term, all I'd be left with is just the 3 would still be there. But I have a 3 and an x, because I took out an x, put it there. If I take out an x out of the second term, take the x, put it out, what's left over? A 1. Now again, if this confuses you, you can go and multiply back. You can check it. That times that, that times that. That does make a 3x squared, and that does make a negative 1x. Okay? Now, we've got our mini equations, and once we get our mini equations, we'll just say x equals 0. Well, that's solved, right? And we'll take 3x minus 1 equals 0, and we'll solve. Plus 1, 3x equals 1, divide by 3, x equals 1/3. Okay, that's what I have. I'd like you to work to the journal and get the assignment done for today, and then we'll talk about more factoring tomorrow. Okay. Have a great day, everybody.